loot boxes, toxicity, cheaters, pay-to-win mechanics, overpriced cosmetics, and psychological manipulation. Let's find out why free-to-play games suck, why we can't stop playing them, and confront the brutal economic reality of the gaming industry. What even makes a game free-to-play? It's a tricky question because it's an umbrella term. Overwatch, League of Legends, Hearthstone, Valorant, Call of Duty Warzone, and every other free game are all various levels of free. See, you can download Destiny 2 at no cost, but how much of it can you really play? Any game that can be downloaded for free and be played to some extent gets classified as a free-to-play title. Even though these games run the gambit of styles and genres, there's one clear thread that ties them all together. No cost for entry, but once you're inside, run your pockets. The one thing most strongly associated with free-to-play games is a way to spend money: microtransactions. The irony is killer. Free games are notorious for their often predatory monetization systems. Gacha games and loot boxes run rampant, and they actively harm their player bases. The way these systems prey upon our psychology could be a video all on its own. The tantalizing prospect of a rare item, of one more spin on the wheel, one more pull. There's a reason loot boxes have been outright banned in several countries. Their effectiveness is clear. Not every game still uses them, but it's certainly not uncommon. The fact that there's an entire genre, gacha, of games dedicated to the loot box speaks to just how profitable this mechanic can be for these companies. But the questionable monetization practices don't end there. Not only do these free-to-play games get us to pay with what is effectively gambling, they do so through predatory storefronts as well. They make it as easy as possible to spend money and plaster ads and pop-ups everywhere. Overwatch makes sure to let you know every time there's a new item in the store, and other games are no different. If a new season is out, you'll be met with a pop-up for the Battle Pass. If there's a sale, you'll know about it. If there's a way to get you into the store, these companies will find it. Once you're in the store, great lengths are taken to separate you from a purchase and the money spent. That's why every game has its own currencies. It's funny money. Who cares how many frumpets that skin costs? It's not dollars, so it feels less real. On top of this separation, these currencies are priced in an underhanded way. A skin will cost $12, but you can only buy $15 of currency. Now, once you've bought the skin you've wanted, you have $3 of currency left over. This leftover amount will never be enough to buy another item you actually want. You'll be left with the choice to spend a little more and get something you really like, or spend the surplus on something less desirable. Once you've bought once, you're more willing to buy again. That's why you see welcome bundles and starter kits. It's easy to justify $5 on something you didn't have to pay for to begin with. But what you don't realize is that those $5 are a stair step to a $20 purchase. As you spend more, you literally and figuratively get more invested until the idea of putting the game down seems like too much of a loss. It's a sunk cost fallacy machine. It doesn't stop at buying some coins either. Games will often include numerous currencies with different exchange rates to further obfuscate the real cost of these in-game purchases. You buy some coins so you can get some prisms that you can use in-game to earn some shards that unlock an item you want. So when you're looking at that cool cape or whatever it is and it says you just need 4 more shards to get it, the very real monetary cost is nebulous. It's been veiled in layers of currencies and exchange rates. Okay, so you broke and bought the welcome pack. Now you have a few frumpets to spend. What's the big deal? Well, these in-game currencies can be used to buy a ton of different things. Often we think of cosmetics, but some games go beyond that. Some games are free to play, but pay to win. This is more often a problem with mobile games, but that's not always the case. There are plenty of games where you can directly or indirectly buy power, whether that's through levels, cards, gear, or power-ups. These advantages are real and clear. I think everyone hates pay to win. However, when there's a certain level of skill involved in the game, it can make it difficult to see just how much money matters. Sure, that guy has a better tank than me, but if I had just played better, I could have won, and if I keep playing, I can unlock the tank they have anyway. So is it really a big deal? It's how games like Clash Royale and War Thunder sink their teeth into an unsuspecting newbie. But sometimes the advantages aren't so clear. Just because an item doesn't directly give you an immediate boost in power doesn't mean it's harmless. Cosmetics can drastically change the way a character looks, making them easier or harder to spot. It can change the way their abilities look, creating instances where the visual effects are misleading and you get hit when it really looks like you shouldn't have. Gun skins will increase or decrease the amount they obstruct your field of view. A narrower skin will give you a slight advantage. How much of a leg up can a cosmetic give you before it starts to approach pay-to-win territory? It's certainly a gray area, but when professional players are playing for sometimes millions of dollars, it can matter a lot. Hell, when it's only a blue-collar guy who wants to enjoy his time off, it can matter a lot. No one wants to feel like they lost a game of skill because they didn't run their credit card. Speaking of running your card, we haven't even talked about the price of these cosmetics either. I'm sure you've heard about the $500 Ari skin in League of Legends, or the fact that to be guaranteed an heirloom in Apex Legends, you need to open $500 worth of loot boxes. Listen, I don't know how much dev time it truly takes to make a skin. I don't know the inner financials of paying the employees to make an emote, but this lack of transparency means it's impossible for a player to truly judge the worth of an in-game item. It's arbitrary, and the company can decide to sell something for whatever we, the consumer, are willing to pay. I completely understand that while a game may be free to play, it's not free to update it, free to maintain it, free to run the servers for it, and it's certainly not free for the devs to make new content. However, these monetization practices are a product of the modern era. The culture is rapidly shifting to everything being a live service model. When the consumer has near infinite choices as to what games to play or thing they can do at any given moment, you have to constantly be jingling the keys in front of them to keep them playing and keep them buying. It's not obvious at first, but Call of Duty, League of Legends, Overwatch, and even I are all competing against TikTok brain rot for your time. By choosing to watch this video, you're choosing to give me your attention, and thank you so much for that. I truly do appreciate it. Subscribe for 500 frumpets. But part of the reason these games get so much hate, the reason the live service model gets so much hate, is because of this. We can see through the loot boxes, predatory currencies, and overpriced skins. We know these things blow, but we still play these games. Why? I have an answer, but before we get to it, we need to address the rest of the reasons free-to-play games suck. Because it goes deeper than just money. Gaming is an expensive hobby, especially if you don't live in the first world. To even play a game, you need a phone, computer, or console, all of which run you at least a few $100s. So it makes sense that the accessibility of a free-to-play title is alluring, and when anyone can play your game, anyone with an interest will. But not every actor is a good one. With no financial barrier, trolls and cheaters can jump in easily, ruining the experience for everyone. Of course, toxicity will happen in any game, but when you pay to play, there's an investment in the product, an investment in the community. People are less incentivized to shit where they eat because the ban hammer will smack you back to Roblox. At least that's the idea. However, because the barrier to play is often just an email, even if a cheater is banned, they can just make a new account. Anti-cheat and report systems struggle to keep up. It's a constant game of whack-a-mole. When companies do more drastic things to curb cheating, like how the Riot client has kernel-level access, effectively allowing it to see everything on your computer, they get backlash. There's a real trade-off between the experience you get and the level of privacy you're willing to give up. It's not that pay-to-play games don't have these problems, but that they're exacerbated by the free-to-play model. I don't want this video to only be negative though. An open door does mean anyone can come in. That is truly awesome. Part of what makes gaming fun are the communities we the players get to be a part of. Allowing anyone to participate in that is something special. It's truly not as clear-cut as letting everyone in is bad or good. It's a mixed bag. And when you need people to form a community, a few bad actors can easily ruin it if left unchecked. This requires constant maintenance. And to retain a player requires constant updates. The game must always feel fresh enough that the player doesn't leave for the next best thing. More content sounds great on paper, but constant updates can be a negative. These constant changes and additions can throw game balance out the window. You'll see players complaining across the internet about their favorite live service game's most recent update. And I hear you saying, not all free-to-play games are live services. This is true, but unfortunately, the games that don't get this treatment die. Name a free-to-play game that isn't being updated, that is doing well, that's popular, that's growing. I'd say TF2, but the community is constantly complaining about how it's been abandoned and that it's overrun by bots. I'd hardly call that a success. Even Counter-Strike got a sequel. Remember, everything is competing for your attention. The developers of these games are under constant pressure to keep the content coming, to keep jingling the keys. I have to ask, is this really the best way to do things for everyone involved? Is it really the middle ground that keeps the most players playing, makes the most money, and allows the devs the best quality of life? It seems like there's no way it could be. If these games are plagued with all of these problems, if this is truly not the best way for gaming to move as an industry, why do we keep playing? How do these games keep us coming back season after season? Why will we buy skins and battle passes when the core gameplay experience is free? It's all about the hooks. Daily rewards, limited time events, seasons, it's all designed to keep us playing. These psychological triggers are incredibly effective at creating a habit, and that's the goal. Fortnite shouldn't just be a game that you play. It should be a part of your lifestyle. I'll say that again, because I think it sums up what's really happening here. To Epic Games, Fortnite shouldn't just be a game that you play. It should be a part of your lifestyle. Every time you log into these games, you are greeted with something shiny. The keys are jingled. As you play, you are literally rewarded for engaging with the game. Battle passes drip feed you goodies and progress. In a lot of these games, there is a real sense of progress that mimics the achievement you would feel if you did something meaningful in real life. Promotions, prestiges, level ups, advancements, these systems are ruthlessly designed to make sure you log on today, tomorrow, and for as long as you are breathing. But they don't want you to do it alone. No, playing with your friends, being part of a community, these are a huge part of the experience. The social aspect is something money can't buy. Games like Fortnite have become social hubs where players hang out, chat, and compete. I have at least 1,500 hours in Overwatch. I would bet that less than 10% of that time was put in solo. I exclusively play with my friends. That's insane. These games are replacing in-person interaction for a huge amount of people. Again, I don't want to just be negative. It's not all bad. These hubs have allowed people to make friends with people on the other side of the planet. People are lonelier than ever, and these games allow people to connect in a way they never could before, with people they never could before. As wonderful as that is, these companies use it to their advantage. They sell us skins and emotes so that we can express ourselves to others in these virtual environments. But let's address the biggest reason we start and keep playing these games. It's in the name. They're free. This accessibility is a major factor in their popularity. My favorite game of all time, Overwatch, is likely only still up and running because of this accessibility factor. Its move from pay-to-play to free-to-play dramatically increased the player base. There is no risk involved in trying the latest free title. All you have to do is give up your time, your attention. And hey, if you like the game enough, maybe you decide to buy the battle pass or a skin you really like. And to do that, you have to convert your money into an in-game currency. When you do, you get a free dollar's worth of currency, leaving you with a useless surplus. But if you log back on tomorrow, you'll get 100 more frumpets. And if you log on the day after that, you'll get a really cool emote. And if you just play a little longer, you can unlock another skin, or another currency, or another emote. And if you'll just get a friend to play with you, you can get another free thing. And if you'll just give enough of your time and attention to the game, you just might actually feel like you've achieved something. And when you lay it all out like that, it seems pretty insidious, doesn't it? But let's confront the brutal economic reality of the games industry. Maintaining servers, creating new content, it all costs money. Developers need to fund these somehow. This explains the heavy monetization tactics we see in free-to-play games. And after all, a games company is just that, a company. Its goal is to make money, and games cost a fortune to produce. That cost has to be recouped somehow. Before the modern era, games needed to sell a certain number of copies to break even, and even more to make money. In the age of the free-to-plays, you just need enough people to spend enough money to profit, whether that's 5 people or 1 million. There are dinky mobile games or crypto scam games that are kept afloat solely by a few whales. You don't have to make a good game. You just have to make a game that's good enough that people are willing to spend money on it, and that begs the question, is the free-to-play model sustainable? For now, yes. But at what cost to player satisfaction? The balance between profit and player experience is a delicate one, and the limit is constantly being pushed. These games are constantly asking, how much can we get away with selling a skin for? How little can we give, and how much can we get? It's bleak, but it is the reality. And the games that have stuck around for years, Overwatch, Dota, League, they have found this balance. The ones that haven't or choose not to engage slowly die. Players are fickle. Your attention, your time, it's priceless. And the games that do well for a long time respect it. So it's not all bad. Games that get it right continuously put out new and exciting content that keeps their player base happy. These games foster communities and allow people from all over the world to connect with one another in a unique way. Because there's no initial cost, these games are incredibly accessible, allowing anyone to find the next game they just might fall in love with. Not every game has predatory monetization, and even if it does, you often don't have to engage with these systems to enjoy the core gameplay. Free-to-play games have their flaws, but they also have their hooks. We love to hate them, but we love to play them too. I made this video that heavily criticizes free-to-plays, but you'll see me on Overwatch every weekend. You'll see my friends and I trying each new free-to-play that looks mildly interesting, and we're not alone. If you made it this far into the video, you play them too. You give them money, and truthfully, you're probably happy to do so, but more importantly, you give them your time. Life is long if you know how to use it. Your time is precious. Spend it wisely. Hey, what do you think about free-to-play games? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you like Overwatch or just want a good laugh, check out this video here on the most cursed Overwatch products. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in-game.